Hi, it's Ben Xiong from Learn ASP. Step into our Q&A zone where the spotlight is on you, our incredible audience. Today, we'll be answering some of your most pressing questions about health, fitness, performance, body composition, as well as nutrition. So whether you're taking a leisurely stroll or completely fixated on your device, consider this information your secret weapon to being the best you. Enjoy this show ahead.
So the next one would be metabolic flexibility. What are the essential steps to begin with if we want to practice this methodology?
Metabolic flexibility. Okay, so for those of you that may not understand this term, metabolic flexibility is, I would say, it's a colloquial term. It's basically to say that your body is able to utilize different substrates effectively for energy. So we understand that carbs is the first form of, I guess, currency that your body uses, right? So when your body's in need of energy, your body would utilize carbohydrates as your first currency of choice. Now, after carbohydrates, if let's say your body is lacking readily available carbohydrates, your body will then have to produce carbohydrates through the breakdown of proteins, certain proteins. Fat can also be used as a form of energy per se. Okay, so they convert into different chemical substrates to be converted into energy. So if you are able to be, if you are metabolically flexible, you can use carbs effectively as energy. And if your body says there is no carbs, you can then switch to using fat or protein as energy as effectively, right? So think about this. In Australia, we use the Aussie dollar, the Oz dollar, right? And that's our readily available form of energy. That's what we use with. However, if Australia decided to take American dollar and Australian dollar, and we could use American and Australian dollar anywhere we went, that's what metabolic flexibility is. We can use both currencies really easily and without any hassle. So in order to train the body to be metabolically flexible, I think it's important to expose your body to different situations based on your food types. Now, a lot of us will go on certain diet types, right? Meaning you will probably go on high protein, high fat, low carb. Some people will go on higher carb, low fat, higher protein, and so forth. These sort of diets, and they stick at it for a particular period of time. The key to metabolic flexibility is two things. One of them, to a degree, is the leanness of an individual. So physically speaking, if I look at an individual and if their body composition is good, meaning that they've got more muscle and they are leaner, that forms a good basis to letting me know they are metabolically flexible, because their body, from an external perspective, knows how to allocate or distribute nutrients. So if I gave them any sort of food, the body knows how to distribute nutrients, fat to where fat is, and utilizing the rest for repair, muscular growth, all that kind of stuff. So from an aesthetic point of view, the better the body composition of the individual, the more metabolically flexible they are. Okay, this is from an aesthetic point of view. From a physiological point of view, we need to understand how well the body works from a vitamin point of view. That means, are they supplementing their body with enough vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals? Because these classes, what we call micronutrients, are the classes of substances or chemicals that are required for all the chemical reactions in our body, including energy production. Metabolic flexibility means your body's able to utilize different types of macronutrients, fats, carbs, or proteins, as a form of energy. Meaning, you need to have micronutrients there to interpret all these chemical reactions for you. So this person needs to be eating a diet that contains what they need for energy production. That's for one. How do you do that? Whole food diet. Your diets have to be more from whole foods as opposed to, a lot of refined sugary foods. Secondly, expose your body to different eating types. So if you stayed off carbs for a long period of time, for example, and let's say, you stayed off carbs for 6 months, you were going on a diet which is very, very low carbs. Then all of a sudden right now, you crave a muffin and you ate one muffin and you put on 3 kilos the next day. You're like, oh my gosh, my body doesn't handle carbs at all. I'm horrible. Well, your body doesn't handle carbs not because it cannot, but because it has never seen carbs for 6 months. So it's something completely new. Your body adapts to what it gives, right? So if you only stuck to a diet that is extremely low in carbs, if you are hitting a plateau, then what you will need to do is you will need to introduce carbs back into your diet. That is the only way you're going to shift fat. If you kept on a really low carb diet, you will plateau, because the number one function of your body is adaptation. Your body has adapted to whatever nutrients or nutrition plan you've given to it. So metabolic flexibility, to a degree, is the ability for your body to unadapt to whatever situation it is, right? If I am only accepting Australian dollar, but now you gave me an American dollar and I'm unadapting to it, going, okay, no problem, I can take American dollar as well, give that to me, I'm going to have more business rather than someone who only takes Australian dollar, right? Now, to do this, I need to get enough American dollar and enough people asking me for American dollar so that my business is being kept. If one person asks me for American dollar and the rest ask me for Australian dollar, then why would I keep that business for? So the body does exactly the same thing. If you're stuck on a diet with very, very low carbs for 6 months, and all of a sudden you've introduced one portion of carbs, you can't expect your body to change because of that. You've got to constantly expose your body to carbs to teach your body to be flexible to utilizing carbs and fat as a nutrient. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the premise of metabolic flexibility is exposing your body to different nutritional protocols.
Does fat intake spike insulin?
No, it doesn't. Fat has nothing to do with insulin per se. So for example, if I ask you this question, and the question is, can you tell me how many kilos is your height? So my question is, how many kilos is your height? Or how many centimeters is your weight? Does it make any sense?
Different.
No, because insulin doesn't react to fat per se, and the glycemic index, for example, is not a measure of fat. So you can't actually talk about fat in terms of GI. Fat has GI of 0. It doesn't directly relate to it.
So when it comes to body fat percentage, do you prefer someone to do cardio for fat loss or weights to get leaner?
Depends on what. So the way I look at this is I look at the body type of the individual. There are individuals that will need to push their fat down using cardio absolutely as a tool, and with some individuals that will benefit more from less cardio and actually more weight. So this is actually specific to the body type of the person, and is specific to the degree of body fat. Let's say I'm at 6% body fat. When you get someone who's competing in competition mode at 6% body fat, the body will try to hold on to as much fat as they can, because 6% is below an optimal percentage of body fat for health per se. All right. Some people can be very healthy at 6%. Some people are pushing it at 6%. And so for those that are pushing it at 6%, the body's trying to hold on to as much fat as possible. It will be very difficult for them to lose more fat. As a result, they will need to be the ones that will add in cardio. They just need to do excessive activity so that their overall calorie expenditure for the day exceeds their input. So their output exceeds their input, and as a result, they'll be able to lose more fat. But if they don't do that, they will stick at that 6% body fat. And like I said, with bodybuilding as a sport, it is an extreme sport, which means that you're meant to push your body to the lowest body fat percentage that you can on stage, because that's the look that they want. Is it necessarily healthy? No, it's not, but it is a look that they're after, right? So this is the goal of the individual. Bodybuilders actually feel like crap before the show. They don't feel good. They may look amazing, but trust me, they feel like death. All right, so it is, they feel horrendous. So it is a temporary look, and it's a temporary body fat percentage that they need to push their body to. And absolutely, this is when I'll use cardio. Training, if I keep training them that way, it will not benefit their system, especially with weights, because what I do is I cause micro trauma. I break down their muscle, and because the calorie count is lower, their ability to recover is actually lower as well. So that means they will become a lot more fluidy, and this is not a good look that they would want on stage.
Thank you for joining us in this Q&A zone. I hope that you've taken away some valuable nuggets that you can apply. Well, if you enjoyed this, make sure to like or subscribe our content. as well as hop into our inner circle on the Learn ASP site. Lots more information waiting for you. We'll see you in the next episode.